Welcome, guys, to Children of Dionysus. I'm your boy Laris Macario. Today's guest is Jayani Jalese. Jayani, what's going on?
Hello. Yeah, nothing. I'm good. It's Saturday. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for wanting to, I don't know, interview me, I guess. Or talk to me. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Nice. How's your week going so far?
It's good. I was like, I think you might know, but I also work full time in HR. So my weeks are typically like pretty busy for the most part. And like this week was still busy, but a little bit slower, but busy because like I finally decided to hop on board with a friend of mine and try to produce a film with him. We've been just like going back and forth with the beginning stages of it. And I'm a super organized person. I mean, I work in HR. I have like no choice to be. So just trying to like add something new to my schedule, show up for my auditions fully. This week it was slow, only had two. And yeah, just work and do a good job because that pays the bills for now. Um, I was like, I've been doing this acting for what, 9 years, so the universe has one more year to grant me my my space. So I'm just putting in the work until
I'm,
that day.
I'm glad that you're giving the universe an ultimatum. That's fantastic. Working in
It's
HR,
mine.
it's yours. Working in HR, what's that like?
Oof, was it? It's like managing adults. Honestly, it's trying to find the right words for this. Honestly, it's just helping people. And it comes like pretty natural to me just because like uh there are things that are like that can be very annoying, like uh just because like I'm a creative, so obviously like I don't want to sit at a desk. So that's where that hesitancy is like, it's HR. But ultimately, like it's nice to help people. Especially like my favorite part of my role right now is I help with the hiring and sourcing. And it's really nice to meet new people. I feel like I learn from them. Um, I'm able to sit in like a space where like I'm talking to someone super nervous on the interview and just kind of like get on a human level with them, and connect with them and then remind them that like like it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be who you are, like this is why you're interviewing. Don't try to like be something that you're not just to get a job. um and having very candid conversations with people, which is probably, I don't know if it makes me the best HR person, but to them it makes me the best HR person because like I truly do care about people. And I think being that person and being a little bit or a lot of bit empathetic like helps me navigate through HR. Especially when it comes down to the harder part of HR where you have to make like harder decisions and like letting someone go or which is so rough in this economy, or making a decision on health insurance or like what benefits to pick for the team and things like that. Like, so there are the perks of it. Even explaining to the newer employees, like when they just turn like 26 and they have to get insurance, and like sitting down and having that conversation on how to enroll, like what do you look for, what's a deductible, things that I kind of didn't know. So because I pay attention to my experience, I try to like make sure that when I'm HRing people, I'm like thorough. Like I'm really like thinking about what was I thinking in this moment when I first enrolled in insurance? How can I help? Or, when they're having an issue with a teammate or something. But yeah, it has its I will say I've lasted so long in HR. I've been in HR for about 7 years now, 8 years. I lasted so long because I like people. Um, and I think that's how HR is. Yeah.
What possessed you to of the millions of jobs you could have taken as a survival job? What what compelled you? possessed you to pick that?
Oh, this is a funny story, actually. So I had no intention on being in HR at all. Uh, to be honest, I used to live with a friend of mine, and we would go to we lived together, and we would go into the city together, and we would work out. And then after working out, she would go to work, and then I this specific day, I had a couple auditions, and my auditions were all over the city, and her job was like 23rd and Park, so it was like in the midpoint to where I needed to be next. So she was like, "Oh, like did you eat?" And I was like, I didn't eat." She's like, "Well, like come eat for free at my office." So I usually would go to her office to eat for free. It was a company called Freshly. So she would sneak me into the office all the time, and she worked in HR. And one day, like we were like eating in the conference room, like they also had a free cold brew tap. I'm a coffee person, so I would go there for my free coffee, my lunch, and then like she would pack me a little bag of snacks. Best friend ever. So one day her boss messaged her. He's like, "Oh, like who are you having lunch with in the conference room?" And she's like, "The girl interviewing for the HR coordinator role." And then he's like, "Great, does she have 10 minutes to meet with me and send me her resume?" And then my best friend was like, "Gianni, I'm literally panicking." She's like, "You have to meet with my boss now because I told him you were interviewing." And she's like, "I'm gonna send him your resume," because she obviously she has all my info, of course.
Mm.
So she just sends him the resume, and then I go upstairs to meet with him for 10 minutes, and he's like, "Oh, like you're hired. Can you meet us for happy hour? For the team happy hour so I could welcome you to the team. Can you start next week?" It just came to me. It wasn't like I didn't look for it. It was just in a weird sense of alignment for me at the time. It
Mm.
kind of worked. They were on board for my acting career. Like they knew, like they would just, if I had an audition, they'd say pop a meeting on my calendar. I really needed the job. And I'm thankful because that random day led to me being able to support myself for years. Um, and a couple things I learned along the way. But yeah. So yeah, I didn't necessarily choose to go in HR. It found me. It just yeah, it's like one day it was just like divine intervention. We're like, "Hey, you need a job. Here you go." And I was like, "Okay."
I love it. I love how those things just sort
Yeah.
of fall into place sometimes.
Right.
Um,
They just happen.
what happened to your finger? Who'd you get into a fight with?
Oh, fight. Far from fight. It's so embarrassing. I was actually like, this is so funny. We talk about people. It was my friend's birthday, and I thought he was a little tired. Like, I know they wanted to start cleaning up and stuff. So I decided to like help him and his girlfriend. I go to like wash dishes. And I'm like washing dishes. And I remember my friend tapping me and saying, like, "Hey, he's like, just literally don't wash the dishes, Jay. Like, you're a guest today. Like, it's fine." And I don't know at what point, but I think like when I stopped, I might have nicked myself with a really sharp knife.
Mm.
So I like immediately like applied pressure, and then I applied so much pressure. Then I like rinsed, whatever, and then went into the bathroom sink and I let it go. And I was like, "Oh, this is bad." It was so much blood. And then like I peeked inside of it. I have a high pain threshold, didn't even hurt. And I was like, "I'm pretty sure I'm looking at some bone here.
Mm.
Not good." So I didn't want to make a panic because like it's his birthday, like, and like his family and his girlfriend, they would have made a scene. So I like wrapped it in tissue, and then she had like those plastic shower caps. I don't know if you ever seen them before, but like I
Yeah.
took it like really tight and like I wrapped it up, and like I put my hand in my pocket and I walk on like, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna go take a phone call real quick." And then I like snuck out the door, did an Irish goodbye, and walked to the emergency room. They were really nice. I called them. I was like, hey, like, I don't know what entrance. First of all, yes, you can call an emergency room. I did not know that. But I'm like, hey, I don't know which entrance. I'm trying to walk there. I'm bleeding. She's like, how bad are you bleeding? I'm like, I don't know, pretty bad. The shower cap's full of blood. And I'm like, I almost cut off my finger, I think. And she's like, why are you so calm? Um, so, yeah, I walked into the hospital. If you need good service at the emergency room, bleed. I mean, it was really fast. I was seen within like 5 minutes. And then like I had like real stitches, like the old school, like they tied me up stitches. That's how deep it is. So it's been a little bit over a month of like I had stitches for almost like 14 days. Then I had like the steri strips, like the butterfly stitches on there. Then the butterfly stitches came off, then it opened up a little bit. So I just was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. They're just gonna butterfly it back. So I butterflied it back. And then I just still can't move it because it's still like healing. So if I move my finger the wrong way, it'll probably open up because it's not all the way healed yet. So it's just fingers take forever to heal. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. I don't recommend it. Like, and then all of a sudden it was like I hadn't got hand modeling auditions for like months. And then I'm like, I got these big old stitches in my hand, and they're like, oh, like lotion, uh random stuff, like random hand modeling jobs started popping up, and I'm just like, I text my agent, I'm like, hey, like I think I should decline. Like I kind of have stitches in my hand, and she's like, oh, like is it really bad? And I'm like, yeah, like I obviously, like, because I'm an overshare, I sent them a picture, and they're like, oh my god, Jayani, like what did you do? And I'm like, what didn't I do? um so yeah,
Are you going to be able
that's
to
that.
hand model again?
uh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Like I think it's gonna heal pretty well. It's healing well. It's just I'm allowing it the process. It's just probably like in like 2 months from now, it feels like. Yeah.
um, when I used to be a handyman, which is ironic because I'm not really that handy, you know what I mean? Kind of a bookworm or whatever, but I just chose to do this
Mhm.
job. And it was like I took the job. You ever heard of the Handy app? It's kind of like TaskRabbit.
Yes.
They post a bunch of them, and you just kind of choose them or whatever. And I did a bunch of handyman work around the city. I was like, you know what? I hate this job, but I need the money and I don't want to quit. I said I'm going to do at least 150 before I quit. Ended up doing like 475 jobs. I just like it was like a
Whoa.
it was like a because when I was young, I used to have to help my father
Mhm.
like do handyman stuff, and he was how do I say this? He's a son of a bitch, and so like it was a less than pleasurable experience. So I kind of linked it or whatever, and it was kind of like I'm just gonna whatever. Anyway, I ended up doing handyman jobs and like traveling through the United States. Like I would do a job
Mhm.
and I would make some money, and that would get me to the next city, and then I would do a job next city, next city, next city. I ended up at the last city, which ended up being Raleigh, North Carolina. And in my last job, I was opening the box cutter. I didn't have like a box cutter, so I ended up using shears, like the tailor shears, you know, those big ones
Ooh.
that cut clothes.
Mhm.
And I was like pissed for some reason, and I my hand slipped, and I put a hole in the middle of my middle of my hand.
Well, you don't have I can't see through your
No,
hands, so that's a good
you
sign.
can't see it. You
It
can't see it. But
healed. Oh.
it was just, I was like, this is not stopping. This is not, I don't understand. Luckily, at the house was a woman who was a nurse. And so she applied pressure, did the whole thing, and sent me to the hospital. But I didn't realize how inconvenient it is to lose a part of your hand until you lose a part of your hand. Like, you don't realize how much of this you need. So I feel your pain.
I've literally been telling people, like, I know people do worse things, but this is rough. I can't, I'm like typing, like, it's a whole thing, but it'll heal.
It'll heal. Great. So talk to me about where are you from originally?
I'm from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay. New Brunswick with Jersey. You were
Yeah.
you raised out in Jersey too?
Yes, I'm a Jersey girly. I was born and raised in Jersey. I'm from New Brunswick. Um,
New Brunswick
I
is how
mean,
far from the city, roughly?
uh, I want to say 45 to an hour
Okay.
with traffic. Yeah, maybe a little bit longer. Honestly, I've actually on the train. Oof, on the train. I've taken the train from New Brunswick with my cousins to Manhattan before, and it takes like I think it's like a little over. It's like 40 something minutes.
Mm.
An hour on New Jersey Transit. But yeah, I was like, you want the whole story?
All the way.
I'm
Yeah.
from New Brunswick, New Jersey. I was born and raised in New Brunswick. Kind of did all of my elementary school there. Absolutely loved it. Then we ended up moving to a town called Carteret. Still don't know what that town is. But that's where I went to high school. I moved worse. My mom was not thinking about this when she did this. Moved me my like freshman year of high school. So I finished my last month of 2 months of eighth grade in a new school. It was so rough. And then started high school in Carteret. And then after that, I went to college in Montclair State. And then I kind of like bounced around. I lived in West Orange for a long time. And then just recently, I moved to Jersey City 2 months ago. I did Brooklyn for that. When did I do Brooklyn? Oh my God. I lived in Brooklyn. I think it was like 25. Was that 25? Maybe. I don't know. My memory's fading. Um, but yeah, I'm like one of those Jersey New Yorkers because I spend most of my time in Manhattan, but I won't live there.
The bridge and tunnelers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, I love it, but I want to go back home. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was like, I don't know, what more do you want to know?
No, no, that's it. I just wanted to know sort of where you grew up, how you grew up, what inspired you? Were you an actress when you were a little kid? Or was it something that came in your
Oh,
family?
okay.
How did you
This is great. Okay, so now I feel like I was always an actor. I was just an actor. Like I think I was just born that way. My mom used to tell me I was a born performer. Like when she used to take the bus, when I was like younger, these are memories that I don't know, but she would say how embarrassing it was that like I would sing the entire bus ride. I would like sing to the top of my lungs, like I was performing for people on the bus. Um,
like the do you mean
um,
the public bus?
yeah, the public bus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She said I was always just this performer. I used to draw. I still draw.
You're a
I guess in
charcoal
more
drawer, right?
detail.
You were
Yes,
like
charcoal.
charcoal. Yeah.
Yeah. But I essentially I used to have an imaginary friend. Now I think this is where it starts. My imagination was so big. Like my world was like you all are on this world, but my world was like so colorful, so big. I had an imaginary friend up until I was like 7.
Right.
Um, I think that before I even knew it, I was an actor. Like I was a creative. I remember I was about 4 when one of my uncle Otis, he passed away a couple of years ago. But when I was about 4 years old, he started calling me Hollywood. And he would call me Hollywood because what I would do is like I would watch a show or a movie and I would literally like reenact the characters. Like I would walk into they never knew what they were getting with me. Like it was like one day, like, was I ever Jayani really? Because like one day I'll come in and I just have an accent and they're like, what is this child doing? Like I remember one day at a store of my I don't remember, but they tell me this because my aunt was very embarrassed. Like, this is just who I was. I'm just gonna paint the picture. So we were in the store and we go to like a little corner store, like a bodega, and or whatever people call it. We call it a corner store. We used to get 25-cent juices. I remember my
You mean
great sorry, my
the
my
little
mind.
ones, the little
Yes, a
plastic
little
ones? Yeah.
quarter juice. Yeah, a little quarter juice, a
I
little
remember
corner
that.
store.
Well, it
Funny
wasn't
story.
really juice. It was like water. It was like
It was
sugar
syrup.
water. Sugar water
yes.
would die.
It was
But
great though. It
let's
was
go.
great. It was great. I mean, it kept me, I still look good in my 30s. It was great. Like, I don't care what anyone say.
It was
It
purple
benefited my
drink.
health.
It was
My
purple
skin
drink.
and whatever it had, that elastic that they were pouring into our bodies worked. Okay.
That was
It
microplastics
worked.
before microplastics. I don't know what was in that stuff.
Right. So it was like natural Botox. We were just drinking it. Um, I don't know what they're feeding the kids these days, but what we had was good. And it was 25 cents. So I'll take it. Um, wow, funny story as we're talking is the anniversary. My great grandmother used to be like, Yanni, run around the corner and get me some ditsy doodles. And then she'll hand me like a quarter so I could go around the corner to go get her some ditsy doodles. Anyways,
What's a
that's
ditzy
here nor
doodle?
there. It's a chip. It's like a corn chip.
Do they still sell them? Ditzy doodles?
Yeah, ditsy doodles.
Do they still sell
Ditsy
them?
doodles. Ah! No, it's like my grandmother. She actually, I believe. Oof, this was the day she passed away last year. Oh my God, my great grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, ditsy doodles. She'd be like ditsy doodles. They're like, you know them sun chips
Yeah.
that come in. They'd be like in the blue bag. So
Mm-hmm.
ditsy doodles are similar to those, but they have like a little wave in it.
Ah, okay.
And they do like flavors like barbecue, things like that. She used to love them things. But
She sounds like she's
anyways,
from
back
the
to the
South.
story.
She sounds like she's from the
She's
South.
she's from Maryland.
Okay.
She's from Maryland. Yeah, she like grew up on, I believe, a strawberry farm. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, so this is back to me because I'll stray everywhere. But this is who I was as a kid. Like you never know what you were getting with me. My aunt, she goes into the store and she goes to purchase something, and the guy goes, "Oh, like hi, sweetie, what's her name?" And my aunt says, my aunt Wawa, she says that I turn around, do a spin, and I come back, and I'm like, "My name, Roman Rome."
From Martin.
So from Martin,
I let me just
this
say,
4 years,
side note, that is low key the most underrated 90s show ever made. The
yeah,
characters, hustle man, brother man, like it was so good. I'm sorry, continue.
yeah. Sorry, that made me. Oh God, that is just so funny because my aunt passed away also, as well. Jesus, it's such a heavy day. Sorry.
Sorry,
Whoops.
that's all right.
Um, no, but that was just who I was. So then it was just like as I like grow up, I'm this like person who is just like entertaining my family. Like I whatever character, my Dave Chappelle phase. Whew, that was a great
What was
phase.
your favorite Dave Chappelle skit?
Oh gosh. Okay, so one day I embarrassed my mom so bad. I embarrassed her so bad, and like I know I did that time. Like I knew like I was in for it. So one day my mom had like guest over. I think I had to be my sister was born by this time, so I might have been 10 or 11 around this time because I fully remember this, maybe 12 even. Um, and my mom's like sitting with her best friend Mari, and there's like my dad, his friend, and there's someone else standing around. So I am in the back. I put like a cap on and like a stocking cap, and I like powder my lips with with powder, white powder. Paint the picture because I was Ashy Larry, and I take a quarter. This is so bad. This is like and the crazy part is I did not yet know that I wanted to be an actor, but I always was an actor. Like I've been an actor. There's 10 hands down. Like anyone in my family would tell you, like, yeah, she's crazy. So I like take a quarter from the other room and I roll it under the couch. Like I just roll it. So they just see this quarter, like, and I don't know how this quarter like dramatically rolled and like landed under the couch. And then I came in and I ran into the living room and I lifted the couch like, "Arr!" And the corner up. And then my mom goes, she's like, if you don't get your, like, like, I'm assuming you probably have a black mom, but she's like, if you don't get your black ass. And all I turn around and I say, I'm not black. It was just so embarrassed. And then like everyone was laughing, and then like they just couldn't. And then she's like, who let her watch Dave Chappelle? Like, who let her watch this?
Mhm.
My dad did, actually. Um, my dad, we watched it for hours. How did he not know I was going to turn into all of the characters in one moment? Don't Be a Menace face was funny too, but we ain't gonna get into that. Uh, but there was just like I kind of just always knew. I just not knew. I just always was like that. I My essence was like I'm just an actor. I'm a performer. This is what I do. Um, so in like elementary school, I was really, really smart. So I was in this program called Health Links when I was in New Brunswick, and we would actually go see live surgeries. So from a very early age, like my parents, not a lot of the folks in my family went to college. So, it was like they knew I was going to college at like 3. So it was like I was really smart in this program. I was a straight A student, seeing live surgeries literally like in like the 8th grade,
Oh, wow.
7th grade. Um, And one day I saw Grey's Anatomy for the first time. It's about 12 years old. I was like, I remember because I was like, Grey's Anatomy was on. I used to watch the TLC, watch all the weird surgery shows and the labor shows, all types of stuff on TLC that I probably shouldn't have been watching because it's
Right.
like, why? I know a lot of random health facts because of that. But then I happened to come across Grey's Anatomy, and as I was sitting there, I was like, why would why would I go to school to like be a doctor when I could literally be a doctor and look super cool and cute and get a cute guy
And
on
how old were
TV?
you? How old were you when you had these thoughts?
I was probably like 12 or 13.
So you literally just you
It
deduced
was
all
like,
of this. You were like,
yeah,
why would I go to school? And then you just planned everything out.
it was just like, why would I go to school to be a doctor when I could like be a little did I know acting takes longer. Like I could be a doctor right now, literally.
Yeah, a couple
Um,
times over.
I could literally be a doctor right now. But what do you know? So obviously I didn't pursue acting because I didn't. Um, Never even joined a drama program. I did a forensic science club. I was a president of the Art Honor Society because I love art so much. I was a little, I wasn't a dweeb. I was actually pretty popular, which is weird. It was like a weird kid, weird combination of like I was just myself, and I think people gravitate to people who are themselves. But I was the president of the Art Honor Society. That's where like my creativity was. Like I think I actually recently, when I was younger, when I was 12, I actually drew a painting that like won a contest and was hanging up in Johnson and Johnson for like years. And I believe I finally got that painting back like maybe like 3 years ago. It like was hanging in their building because like I won a contest
Oh, wow.
for painting. Yeah, for paint. I've always been super super creative. Like it does not matter what it was. It was just I was creative. Um, and then I remember I think the moment where I really thought I might have wanted to be an actor was I went through I told you I like to reenact movies, but I started to get into drama movies, and I had watched Losing Isaiah with Holly Berry. And I don't know what it was, but I think that I've seen Holly Berry in so many other things, and she was always so beautiful to me that when I saw her in Losing Isaiah, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. I was like, something just, it was that. It was like, okay, yeah, like I'm an actor. I want to do this. And then my mom asked me to do my homework, so I acted out the scene where she didn't know how to read. Um, so it was like one of those things where it was like, why did I used to do the things that I did? I don't know. But yeah, like that's kind of like I kind of knew. But then once I got to the age of like high school and you don't think about these things, but they were like, it was like brewing in me. Like I kind of like knew in the back of my mind, but like I wouldn't dare think of doing it. Like
Mm,
I wouldn't dare say it out loud because even as creative as I was, like I didn't even go to an art school because I felt like I needed to do something practical. I felt like, and it's kind of crazy when you look at your parents now. Like I feel like my parents would have totally like supported anything that I did, but I just didn't
mm,
believe that at the time. So I was like, I need to go to college. So I applied for a bunch of like pre-med programs and things like that. Did not take any of them. One day, I ended up applying to Montclair State in Jersey, um, for undeclared, actually. I don't know why I submit application undeclared. I think it was like my safe school. So like at the time, I can't remember all of it, but we did do, I remember the guidance counselor saying like, you always do a safe school. Like a school that you like that you could just apply to undeclared, like say if your dream school doesn't work out. It was actually very like a good, you know, thing to tell us to do. I mean, one day my mom like yelled at me about a spoon in the sink, and then I just was really upset that I had to wash that spoon. And then I got a letter from Montclair in the mail right before I had to go wash that spoon, and I opened it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I got into Montclair! I'm going! I'm living on campus!" So I made a life decision because of a spoon. I wonder where that spoon is now. Oh boy. Thank you, Spoon. But got to college undeclared. Then what did they, I didn't have a major for years. So about 2 years in, guidance counselor is like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you need a major. And I'm like, do I really? I wanted I actually knew at that moment, I was like, I really want to do theater. I even took like a sociology and media, sociology of no, oh, that I ended up studying sociology, but I wanted to do film. But because of all of my prerequisites did not align with the film or arts programs, because I was just taking basic classics, um, they were saying I would have like an extra year and a half of school. And I said, hell no. My motto is D's get degrees. Okay. Like, we don't need to do all that overachieving. We don't need to be here longer than we need to. D's get degrees.
do they though? Do
That's
D's
it.
get degrees?
Yeah. D's
Oh,
get degrees.
oh, I
You
didn't
got
know.
to you
I
got to be
thought,
over
isn't
a
there a GPA?
2.5. Yeah, as long as you're over a 2.5, you can graduate. You can get
Yeah,
that
but
on
you
straight
need
D's.
some C's and B's to get a 2.5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess the C's and
Yeah,
D's. Yeah.
because
I mean, I
straight D's is like a two. I'm
graduated.
pretty sure.
I mean, high D's though, high D's like D pluses. Yeah. Um, but
So you
so
were undeclared at
basic.
Montclair.
So I was undeclared. Um, And then I wanted to go into the theater program, and then they were
Hmm.
like, "Well, you have a year and a half." Then I was like, "What about the art program?" Then they're like, "Yeah, you got 2 years, 2 years and a half." And I'm like, "No, what'll get me out of here in a year and a half?" They're like, "I don't know if you take sociology." I said, "Sure, let's do it." And then I actually didn't graduate with D's. I did really well, actually better than I thought I would. So because I was a little behind, I decided to take 21 credits, 20 credits, and then 21 credits again. And then my last semester, I only had one credit to do. So I ended up graduating in 4 years, and we could honestly say less because I had one credit that last semester, which was like, what did I take? I think I took like ballroom dancing or something because I registered late and there were like no more electives, but I had to take a class to live on campus. So, yeah, and then I got my first job, and as right after I graduated, I'm walking to work, and I walked past a film set, and I was like, what did I just do? And then I sat at work that in that first job and I looked up at the time. I really didn't know like when you don't come from like a family with I think like money and things like that, like you just don't have a lot of knowledge on how to pursue like, like crafts, like art. Like you just don't know where to go. So I didn't have any of this information. So at the time, Scandal was my favorite. So I was obsessed with Kerry Washington at the time. So I looked up Kerry Washington and I was like, where does she train? Like, how does she become an actor? How does she become an actor? Then I learned that actors train like in programs and things like that. And she went to Michael Howard Studios. So I used the money that I was making from my first job and I enrolled in Michael Howard Studios. Um, and then from there, my first class, the teacher was like, have you trained before? I said, no, this is my first class ever. She's like, wow, you're, she's like, you're gonna go far. This was the best thing you did for yourself. And I was like, I don't know. I was all shy. Like I didn't really like, I didn't even know I didn't even know the magnitude of like what I did. We just did a scene and the scene she gave me, like I just did it. Like, and I will say like I kind of like morph into people. Like I'll morph into these characters and like I just did the scene and it was also a very emotional piece. And it's kind of crazy. I didn't even know I had that emotional like depth at the time. Like I did not know I could get that emotional. But it
Mm.
was like literally my first class and we did a scene and it was just I still want to say probably my best performances ever. And I was like, I even scared myself because at the time it still was like I can't believe I can't really do this. No one even knew I was taking acting classes. I didn't tell anyone. Like I was so embarrassed about it. Like I just was like I'm not telling anybody this. Like I was coming home late. They did not know. Like I'm like yeah, I'm just working late till 10 p.m. It's cool. Like nobody was. I wasn't sure of it. Then I want to say a couple, maybe like 6 or 7 months later, I ended up studying with Ted Barty from Meisner, and he he just was like after like my first couple of days, he's like, why are you not auditioning? And I'm like, oh, because I'm not really like I don't know. Like he's like, you need to be auditioning, and I was like, okay. Um, and then I think he like gave me a really nice compliment. I actually still have it. I saved it because, he's like explaining this thing. He's like, there are some people who are born actors and then there's some people who are trained. And he's like, you, my friend, you are most certainly you were born this way. And like, please don't ever give up on it. Never gave up on it since. I remember him telling me to audition. I'm like, how? I don't know what to do. He's like, get an actor's access, put your monologue up there. Literally, I'm telling you, the universe, I have not, I, God, the universe, they do the work for me. I show up, I do hard work, but the way that like things just happened, like I remember doing my first audition. I did my first audition ever. I started submitting. I submit to like Evil Lives Here, the TV show,
Hmm.
and they literally I did the audition a couple hours later. I was like, this worked this fast. They called me and they were like, hey, like you have a callback. I need you to come in. Can you come in tomorrow for a callback? So I'm like calling my instructor. I called him at the time because we didn't really text. I'm like, hey, like I got a callback. What to do? He literally said, "Don't fix what's not broken," and then hung up on me, I believe. So he was great. Don't fix what's not broken. I said, okay, cool. Do same exact thing. Walked into my first callback ever. I sweat when I'm nervous, so I was like so sweaty. And they asked me to do the scene 3 different ways, and I booked my first audition. And it was like I guess what do you call it? Like I guess I don't know, like you call it a guest star, but or co-star, but it was me the full hour of the show. I was acting the full hour of the show. We filmed for like 6 days. And that
Wow.
was like my first acting experience. And I think that just gave me this undying like confidence to pursue this. Like, and it was because I think that I didn't even believe in myself yet, but like I think like the external sources just were just like, hey, this is where you're supposed to be. This is for you. It just everything was just aligning before I could even like grasp like the magnitude of like that this was about to shape the rest of my life. So yeah, that is my long, very long story on how and why and how I am an actor.
And so what walk me through that first day of you working that first job. Not well, not necessarily the first day, but just the whole experience. I mean, never been on a set, never booked a job, and you're basically the principal on the job. So what was going through your head?
Cry right now. I'm such a crybaby, by the way. And people are like, "Oh, like how do you cry so quickly in your scenes and whatever?" I'm like, "No, I'm a crybaby. Like I cry a lot. Like it's just it's just natural. This is not no acting trick. I'm just a crybaby." Um, so I just remember, well, one, I was driving myself crazy, like memorizing the lines over and over and over. Like I kind of knew for a week. Um, and I just remember I was like, oh, I was living with my ex at the time too. I just remember like just being super, super nervous. And then like um when I got on set, it was like weird because like I got there and I'm like, I sat where like all the extras were sitting. Like I just sat down and then they're like, I just sat down. I was like, oh, I didn't know where to go. And then somebody was like, Lamar, who I'm still friends with now, he was my like husband for the show or whatever, our boyfriend, murderous boyfriend, crazy. Um, he sat there and then like somebody walked over like, oh my God, Jayani, you're here. And I'm like, how did they know who I am? Obviously they had my picture, but like I just didn't understand and like everyone was being super nice to me. So I sat next to Lamar. I'm like, is it me or like are these people like really fucking nice? Like this is like nice. They're treating me so nice. Like they were bringing me things. Like they did not leave me alone. Like it was so nice. I'm like, why are they bringing me water? Like I can get up and get my own water. And he's like, Gianni, like you're the lead for the episode today. I said, what? He said, did you read the script? Yeah, I did. But he's like, yeah, like this is really good for you. And I'm like, is it? And he's like, how long have you been doing this? I was like, this is literally my first audition. He's like, I've been doing this for 10 years. And I'm like, oh my God. So I just was so like, I think it just made me more nervous because I was like, oh my God, like this guy's been acting for like 10 years and here I am on my first audition, just booked a job. Like, so we did a couple scenes and it was really great. Actually, one of my favorite scenes that I have on like my reel, like I will never I even have the scene on my Instagram. It's like one of my favorite scenes ever. Me and him, we are outside. It's freezing. It's supposed to be summer, but you could literally see the snow in the background. Shout out to that team for freezing us out. They were so nice. So they were like running over blankets between the cuts. And I'm like, they're like putting blankets around me. And then still, I'm still like new to this. And I'm like, why are they putting blankets on me? I could wrap it on myself. At one point, somebody came and like was just like holding the PA was like holding the blanket on me for me. So I could like stand there and I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like at the point, I was like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm such a go with the flow person. I'm just like, whatever, fine. They're like, put some heat warmers. Like somebody's like stuffing a heat warmer in my sock. I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. Like we're cool. It was just like it was such a wild experience. But the hard part was what I specifically remember is being super, super nervous after a while. Like at first it was fine, but then we had to go into like these really heavy scenes. And I was just so nervous. And like I was also being really hard on myself because I was like, I think I'm doing so bad. Like I'm doing bad. And like I remember Lamar, trying to give me a talk, and he's like, don't worry, like you're actually doing like a lot better than you think. He's like, just don't worry about yourself. He was like, he's like, just don't worry about it. Like rely on your partner. Like as long as I'm available and you're available, like we should be good. But then I still was hard on myself. Um, so I think the next day, first I went home and cried. I remember my ex picking me up. Um, I we go home and I literally like locked myself in the bathroom and I cried for like he could not even get me out the bathroom. He's like, you gotta stop crying. Like he's like, it's okay. Like I'm sure you did good. I was just like the nerves. So the next day I was like, I'm gonna wake up, better spirits, try again. So nervous that morning. I think I like cried myself into like the Doomsville. Like I was like a shell of a person. I felt like I was not it. So the director, I think he noticed and he was like, he asked to move the morning scenes, which were super heavy emotional scenes, to the afternoon. So he was great. That he was great. Shout out to him. Because then he pulled me aside at lunch. He's like, "Hey, like, can you come sit with me for a second?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." Best lesson ever. Ever I carried this with me on set. And he is like, we sit down, he's like, "How you feeling?" I don't know. I was like, I'm nervous. I'm like panicking today. And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, he points. He's like, "Oh, what's her job?" I was like, "Oh, that's the makeup artist." He's like, "Oh, what's his job?" And I'm like, "That's the PA." He's like, "Oh, what's his job?" I'm like, "I don't know, like the DP." I'm like, "What's his job?" And I'm like, "The cameraman." And he's like, "What's his job?" "The lights." And then he points to me. He's like, "And what's your job?" I'm like, "The actor." And he's like, "So why are you worried about everybody else's job but yours?" And I said, hmm. He said, "One thing that you need to learn forever is to trust the team around you. Everybody here is getting paid to do a job and they have their own job. Our job is literally to make you look great, to make this production look great. So if you just trust your team and stop trying to do everybody else's job, makeup's going to make sure you look good on the camera. Sound's going to make sure we can hear you. You don't have to do anything except for act and be authentic to whoever that actor is. And you don't even need to worry about my job. I'm gonna do my job. You telling me I can't do my job?" I'm like, "No." So he's just like, "Yeah, that's it. Just, take it easy, be yourself." And that has stuck with me my entire career. And I don't walk on sets. I mean, now I still get a little bit nervous, but I do walk on a set and I give everyone an extreme amount of trust and I trust them with me. And I don't question things and I don't worry about what I look. Actually, when they ask to play things back, I say no. Like I don't even like things getting played back because I feel like when I do that, I break that trust. Unless like I need to see because like they need like there have been moments where it's just like, oh, like I filmed on something in LA this January, last January, and uh it was like a really tricky scene because I had to like do a walking scene and I really needed to see my frame. So I did ask to play it back so I could like understand what the director and the DP was saying because I needed to make sure like it was on a moving camera and it was like such a tight space and I had to like pace back and forth. So it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, like I want to justify my markings and I also want to see what I keep doing because I kept like doing like this weird like turn. So it's just like I really did want to see something, whatever. But yeah, that was like my first experience. It was I carry everything from that with me um, every time I'm filming. And then also just remembering that hunger, like how excited I was. And like in those moments where I want to like give up or quit, like I think back to that moment of that girl who like booked her first audition and like I try to like carry that. But definitely that director, that was the best pep talk ever. It was the best. It was the best talk ever because as someone who's always like self-conscious, I used to be so self-conscious, so worried about myself, so insecure. I don't know. In that one conversation, he just knocked all of that off of me, and I was just free. It was like he punched the load off my back and was like, "Girl, you're good." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, that was my first experience. I feel
Fantastic. And then after that, talk to me about your reps. Did you end up getting reps after that, or were you just self-submitting after those projects?
Oh, reps. Okay, so actually, a friend of mine at the time helped me. She was working with Ramona's modeling talent, and is it agency in Jersey? So after that, probably like a month later, It was March because I remember it was like a couple weeks after my birthday. She helped me get signed with her agent, which was just commercial and print. So I did the commercial and print thing. I love Ramona. She's so nice. I actually like I finally like went exclusive with my current agency like 3 or 4 years ago. And they were like, why are we not exclusive? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know because I went through an agent phase where I had like 4 agents at a time. Um, so I had signed with Ramona. Then I ended up uh, putting fillers out to managers. One of my other friends who's an actor helped me get with his manager at the time, who got me like I remember my first big audition was for Orange is the New Black. So shout out to that manager. Manager was like he was pretty weird. Like there was no like verbal communication. Like it was always email, and I
Hmm.
was like I kind of don't really like that. Like we've never spoke on the phone. But I did book a job or two with him. Then I ended up getting some agent in LA, some manager in LA that I worked with temporarily, but like I ended up dropping her because she like tried to change my eye color in my headshot. It was like a really weird thing, and it made me like self-conscious of myself because like why did you lighten my eyes? Like I am who I am. Um, it took me a while to even say something. Like it took me like months before I had the kahunas to be like, this makes me uncomfortable. Now I would have saw that and been like, what are you doing, ma'am? Like, why? So and then I had like 3 agents. I had didn't know any better. It was just like I was submitting to agents and then they were like, okay, cool, let's sign you. So I was signing these like non-exclusive contracts. So I had like at one point I had like 2 managers and and like 4 agents, 3 agents. And then well no, 4, because then I dropped one and then I dropped both of those managers. And then I ended up signing oh, submitting, right? So I was like, oh, like I need somebody in New York. I really need to submit. And I was doing this thing where like I was sending out automated emails like every Tuesday to agents. So I would schedule, yeah, I would sit on like a weekday, thanks to that HR background. I was so organized. I would sit on like a Saturday. I would schedule emails to go out on Tuesdays and schedule up follow-up emails to go out on Fridays for agencies that I really wanted to work with. So I probably submit to probably I don't even know. I feel like it was like over 80. I probably submit to like over 80 or 100 agencies. I heard back from 4. 3 of them rejected me. One of them was the best rejection ever because they were like, if you're interested, just mail us. And I'm like, why would you email me back that? Like you're already emailing me. Um, so I remember that happened. And then I remember it was like a random, it was November. And I'm so funny. It was like I was walking. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was walking in the city. I remember I had on all black for some reason, and I get a phone call, and like I'm like, "Hello," and she's like, "Right place, right time," and I'm like, "Who is this?" She's like, "Melissa from Melissa Young Management," and I'm like, "Oh," and who is this? In the back of my mind, I'm like, "Who is this?" And she's like, "Oh, like I want to schedule a call. Can you come in next week?" Blah blah blah. I'm just like, "Yeah, sure. Can you email me the office details?" I really did not know who this was, but I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah." She was so nice, and she literally was like, "Right place, right time." And then she was just like, "I like your." I didn't have material. Like I didn't really have like I didn't even know what a video reel was at the time. So I really just submit two links to my monologue on YouTube. I had like 2 monologues that I recorded on YouTube and sent them in with my little resume. Um and yeah, I met with them that next Tuesday. I remember calling my friend. I was like, I think I might have an acting manager, like a real one this time. And she's like, what do you mean a real one? Like one that wants to like meet with me in person. Like it might be real. So I go in and then she's like, Melissa Young Management's not open yet. Let's like, let's sign you with Bicoastal. And I'm like, oh, I have other agencies already, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, like we can do like a free, I think, believe a freelance contract or a non-exclusive contract. That's the word I'm looking for. So then I had dropped one of my other agents, and then I was with Bicoastal, UGA, and Ramona. And then I ended up dropping UGA, and then I was with Bicoastal for all this time. And then one day, I was talking to Chrissy, and she's like, "Are you exclusive? Why are you not exclusive with us?" I was just looking. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, remember I used to have a lot of agents, and then I ended up having I let go. I dropped Ramona. I love Ramona so much, and then just signed with Bicoastal all the way. But at the time, Melissa Young wasn't opened yet, but she was like, we're going to sign you for Bicoastal. They were quick. Like I signed the contract. I think I had an audition before I even send the contract in. Like I was like, oh, I had alert. Like they were quick with it because I also like one thing that I've learned from my classes was about like your package. Um, like so everything was set up, even though I didn't have a lot of material, like I was easy to market and like my casting networks profile was set up, my actors access was set up. Like I kind of like had a I got a lot of good info on like how to make myself marketable. So then yeah, Melissa signed me when she opened up, I believe it was like in August. And then I've been with them for whew, I think like 8 years, 7, 8 years. Yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Melissa Young's great. I've got, I say it was 8 friends that are repped by them. Uh,
Yeah.
they're all brilliant actors, and I hear great things. She just keeps churning them out in terms of the auditions. From what I hear, they're coming out. What was
Yeah.
what do you think the key is to having a long-term relationship with a rep like that?
Um, I want to say transparency.
What do you mean?
I think I think a lot of times, like just from my experience in this industry, like we're always scared to like be ourselves. We're scared to say something. We're scared to say no. We're scared to be too tired to do an audition. Like we're actually scared to like show up as humans because like we constantly think that if we miss one opportunity, like that's it, or somebody's not going to want to work with us, or you know, we're not communicating about what we really want, and we're just kind of like just navigating through this industry without even knowing how to do it. And I think like with what's made things the most successful for me was me being authentic to myself and very transparent on like what I want for myself, my goals, my dreams, asking questions. And I've learned this from Alyssa. I was new to this, so I didn't know. Like even when it came down to little things like uploading slate shots. And I remember I uploaded slate shots and Melissa messaged me like immediately, no, these are terrible. Like let's redo them. She's like, next time, just ask me, like, just send me. She's like, like, I'd rather take the extra second to like review the slate shots before you put them up there to make sure you're not like wasting your money and, things like that. And I was just like, okay. So then after that, it was just like developing that comfort to like ask for help or
Mm.
like, sending my reel saying, hey, here's a couple versions of my reel. What do you think? Instead of saying, I know what I'm doing all the time. And I think that asking the people who have the knowledge and understanding and trusting your team, I think to trust, and then allowing that trust to like flow and also being trustworthy, getting my auditions done, being transparent when I don't want to do something instead of like dragging it out to the last day and not doing it because like I really didn't want to do it, but I'm doing it anyway because it was sent to me and just saying like, hey, like sending an email like, hey, like this is this character. I'm not connecting with it. And I know it's a great opportunity, but I don't see myself in that role. And then maybe don't send me more of these, but maybe do just in case one of them I change my mind one day. But I'll always tell you. And then getting tapes done on time. being a professional, showing up in spaces with casting where you're professional, you look well, you're prepared, never showing up at an audition not knowing the lines, especially when we were in person, um, building relationships outside of the manager and like having hunger on your own. So sometimes I present auditions to my manager. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I got a call back for this thing. You think we should take it? Um, and then like letting them take over the contract and things like that. Just kind of like being really like transparent and communicating, I feel like gets you really far. And then like even like not pushing myself too much. Like I've even like messaged like, hey, like I am so burnt out. I I like like, hey, like can we chat? Like I'm doing auditions over and over. I'm not booking, and I, I'm getting callbacks. I'm not booking them. Like I'm pinned for a show, didn't book it. Like what? Like I need a break, and being able to communicate that, and then like your manager also like receiving that and saying, hey, take a couple days after this audition though. Um, but yeah, usually when I'm burnt out, usually when I get to that point where I'm burnt out, universe is like, girl, here you go. I was just kidding. I just wanted to see if you've gone break. I remember that one time I got really burnt out. I ended up booking Manifest. It was just like, I was like, okay. And it was kind of crazy too, because I remember talking and I'm like, I keep getting these like cop and detective auditions and I'm not booking them. Um, And then one of like my biggest network credits, my first big network credit was a cop on Manifest. And it was kind of funny because I remember going back and forth in email with Melissa and she's like, the problem is like, yeah, she's like, you probably like I see you as like a cop or detective in like maybe like 10 years from now. And I'm like, am I still gonna be with you? Like, are you gonna drop me in 10 years? Like, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still here. But which was so funny is like right after we have this conversation, I literally book a cop. And like there's something I tell you, the stars are aligned because the things that I think that I can't do, somehow it's just happened. Like my girly old self was just a cop. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. I unquit. Um, so yeah, it's just, transparency, showing up, tapes on time, tapes neat, not handing in sloppy work. The lighting's good, being, just doing your best, and then also being open to feedback. Like if, I do a tape and it's bad, I appreciate when, my manager can say, hey, can we retape this? And I'm like, absolutely. I will get up at 11 p.m. and retape that so we hit that 10 a.m. deadline. So it's just kind of like showing up for the work. And I think you can't, what's the word that I'm looking for? You can't teach hunger, I guess. Like you can't teach somebody to like want something and to be eager and to be hungry. And I think that if you have that quality, like I think it's really helpful for lasting relationships with, anyone in the creative field because all of our work is showing up for ourselves, I think, and I think the more you show up for yourself, the more people can trust you and believe in you and then want to work for you. That's such a winded answer. I hope I answered that because I kind of went on.
Oh, it was great. You can't teach hunger. That's it sounds like Anthony Avison.
Yeah, I studied with him for a little while. I
So
love Anthony Evanson. I actually recently took one of his classes, and honestly, thank him. Thank you. I actually, if I wasn't so broke, I would be in there now. But we did really good work when I recently took classes with him because I trained with him a little bit during the pandemic, and then I when I went back recently, we were doing all of this like work where it's like you're connecting with like your inner child.
mm,
Um, and you're just like we were playing. We were like making animal noises. We were crawling on the floor, making bird sounds. Like we were pretending to be like villains and like damsels in distresses and like like it just we were running around like toddlers and I needed that. It was so refreshing to just exist and just to be. And I think that it's so crazy. I've been getting so many callbacks. I've booked something. I've my world has opened simply because I trained back with him for like maybe like I think I went back for like 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and it was great. Like I feel so free. Like yeah, it was it was great.
He's pretty extraordinary. I trained with him right before the pandemic and then a little bit during it. And
Hmm.
he's
Yeah,
just one of
he's
those teachers. You know, I've had some really great teachers and some really, really bad ones. And I remember when I went in to train with Anthony, like I hated the theater, I hated acting, I hated all of it. I didn't want to do it anymore. And I just walked in to train with this guy, and it's like he just took all of that away. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. I don't know what the juju is, but I just remember everybody that's trained with him was kind, good looking, smart, like a lot of really attractive people. It's like this is wild, but like attractive physically, but more attractive internal, like beautiful of
yeah,
soul. And what I remember
yeah.
him is you have to audition to get into his class. I don't know what it was like during the pandemic, pre-pandemic. You had to
Hmm.
go into his
Yeah.
office
You
and
still have to
audition.
audition.
Great. And I think that that's a really valuable thing is having to screen people as opposed to just have them sign up and be able to train because you got to want it and you got to want it. You got to
Hmm.
subject yourself to that potential rejection just to get into a class and then overcome that rejection. And then that's sort of like like you were talking about the universe. That's like a gauntlet. Like, oh, okay, you really
Hmm.
do want this. I'm gonna give it to you. And so it makes it extra special. You mentioned that there were a couple of things maybe that you didn't necessarily feel comfortable with about certain things that were being given to you. Do you have an example of something that comes to mind where you were like, I don't want to do this kind of thing either anymore or at all?
Ghetto strippers, uh, drug dealers. I actually got a call back one day for I'll send you that privately because it's so freaking funny. But for like I was like, I don't want to get canceled, so I don't know how to say this, but I was I was a drug dealer, but I was like catcalling another woman disrespectfully, like with like a blunt in my hand and everything. It was just like immediately no. It was called like Street Avengers or something. I have no idea. It was the most insane audition. And I got a call back for it. So when I went into the callback, I showed up like this. I had like dressed in a do-rag, I had a hat on, I had a chain and a t-shirt. I showed up to the callback like, hi. I did not want that role at all. I was like, there, I am not canceling the rest of my career. I am not doing that to myself. I love myself. I respect myself. It is not for me. There are just certain roles that I kind of like stray away from, especially ones like that have like super poor language. Anything that's like super stereotypical, I typically stay away from. Just because like there's a way that I see myself and there's a type of story that I want to tell. Um, and whatever that story is, I just feel like sometimes that just does not align with who I am. And also like at this point in my career, like I don't need to be doing anything that has like extreme nudity for no reason. Like just certain things that I'll really like, like look through. Um, and I do like before if the script's available, before I decline, I try to read it. Um, or like I'll accept it to see the script. And if I don't like it, I'm like, no, this is not it. Um, but yeah, it's kind of those kind of roles. Anything that I don't think my parents or anything I wouldn't feel comfortable with my family watching essentially gets declined. The stuff it follows you forever, you know.
Yeah. Is that something you inherently had in you, or that was something that was developed over time? That sense of self-respect.
Uh, I think I've inherently had it. I think I'm just more, what I've developed is the confidence to speak on it now. More and more and more and more. It's just like I'm more comfortable saying absolutely not. There's like one thing that I did, and I hope like it never resurfaces, that I really just don't like. And it wasn't even bad, but like I was just like playing like a girlfriend of apparently like a drug dealer or whatever, and like I was like being held at gunpoint, and like they were taking money out of our house or whatever, and it was fine. But that's like probably like the only thing that I've done that I'm really like, why did I just didn't know how to say no.
Mm.
And then what I learned from that experience was it was actually my worst set experience ever. Um, Also, like what the script was and what I stepped into was completely different. I just wish I had the strength to like walk out of the set and just be like, oh hell no. Um, but I just did it. I'm a professional. I stayed professional. Like I got it done. Like even till this day, like I don't even think the director would have known how uncomfortable I was or that I didn't really like it. I just showed up and was a good actor. And the many things that I did learn from that after the fact was boundaries. And it's okay to have them. And I just remember talking to Melissa afterward about it and like, yeah. And she's like, like next time, like we won't take something like that. Like you should have told me and I would have like talked to them and like had you leave. So lesson learned, like in that moment, like I should have absolutely called my manager and like, hey, I gotta get out of here. Help me leave. Now I know, to, do those things or, think about leaving. Cause I definitely remember emailing her after and telling her like, yeah, this experience was not what we, signed up for. And she's just like, I'm sorry, didn't know. Uh, next time, just kind of let me know right away and we'll figure it out. And so just like learning, listening, um, and then now it's just there are things that I just really would not. I see the script and I'm like, no, I'm not even doing the audition. Like if that casting director wants to call me again, like they can call me in again for something else. I'm not about to like energetically. I feel like when you audition for things that you don't like, your energy is not aligned with it. So
Mm.
so it's just like you're doing it, but you're not putting out good work. And 90% of the time, like when I do a tape that I don't like, that casting director doesn't call me back.
Right.
Versus the tapes that I connect with and value, I get called back in because energetically, like it was there. Like I was free in that role. I wasn't in the back of my mind thinking like this shit sucks. So yeah, I think it was definitely something that I always had an idea of what I wouldn't do, but just more strength. Also, working with my first real like acting instructor, Ted Vardy, and I remember him having a conversation with me about like standards, and he was like, "Listen, don't let nobody put you in no film where you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. You are too good of a person, too skilled of an actor." He's like, you are good. You are attract. He straight up said it. He's like, you are attractive, not in a creepy way. He said, don't. I don't remember the exact conversation, but he basically was like, you have standards, have boundaries, say no. At the end of the day, if people want to work with you, they will work with you without you having to devalue yourself. So it's kind of like I had a lot of like good people in my ear over the years too to kind of like help me, navigate, especially, being a Black woman. Like you can easily be sexualized on film, or a woman in general. But yeah, just started my career knowing that the way that I wanted to, present myself to the world, I guess. Yeah.
And what if you were presented with something like a Monsters Ball, where that is a, I
Oh,
mean, well, that's a highly
I
charged
mean,
sexual movie, right? I mean, I think they had like a pretty explicit sexual scene during something like that. So, how do you draw the line for yourself when you are, doing something very sexual as a woman? Um,
um, I would think that if it is non-union, if it's on SAG low budget, if it's just not a protected project, absolutely not. But if you think of something that Monster Ball was huge, like if you think of something that is going to probably do very well, like there's a lot of great names behind it, a lot of like successful people going into it. I think like I essentially probably would be a little bit more open, but I think there's also like a point of like, do you ever really need to show that much? Um, so it's just like I haven't been in that space yet. So like I just don't know what I would do, but I do know like right now when I look at it, like I don't know, I think like you can imply without actually like being fully engaged. Um, and I think that that would be my goal. And I would hope that when I get to those point, like I have the right people around me to like help me do this as like safely um as possible and like kind of like where I'm more, protected and not completely in the nude. But I also don't see myself like I still feel like even though I've been doing this for 9 years, I still feel like I'm in the beginning. I just don't see myself stepping into a role like if I did, maybe. But I felt like that'd be something that I'd consider when I'm a more seasoned, like more seasoned in my career, where that wouldn't kind of like make or break or set the tone for who I am, if that makes sense.
mhm.
Like, does that make sense? What I'm saying, kind of like
No, I hear
it's
you.
like,
I hear you. I mean, it's
yeah,
what I'm hearing is it depends on the project, it depends on the context, it depends on the subject matter. Um,
yeah, like if it makes sense, like not like not like I'm just out here for if it makes sense, and then like really, I don't see any reason why in it's like this level of my career where I would be, 100% nude. I just don't it like it wouldn't justify it to me right now, but like if I've been doing this for very long time, maybe, but then there's a lot of actors that you have not seen naked. So like you don't have to, like I don't have to. So I honestly just don't think I think I would. I really don't think I would right now. I don't know. Yeah.
um, I think it's an important question to ask because it's probably going through the mind of most actresses, most young actresses for sure. And I would imagine that
Hmm.
a lot of people have sort of asked them that, or especially when you get to like the non-union level. I remember a friend of mine, she had to audition for something. It's like, why is the devil hot? Literally, it was the that was the title of the movie. I don't know if they
Yeah,
kept it,
I just
but I was like, these kids
I
are
just
these kids are
declined
clearly,
something.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, I just declined something because like they asked for the self tape for me to like be in like my bikini. Like they
okay.
asked, I said no. Like because I guess if we're talking to like if there's a younger demographic watching newer actresses, don't do anything you won't be proud of. Don't do anything that like you don't want your mama to see. Don't do anything you don't want your daddy to see. If in the back of your mind you're not going to be proud of it, don't do it. And then I can tell you, there's always going to be somebody else that's going to do it, and don't feel
Mm.
like it's a missed opportunity because it just is not for you. And uh, I'm glad that I haven't taken a lot of these opportunities because like I don't think if I was out here being naked in somebody's non-union film, I don't think I'd be on Law and Order. like let's really think about it. Like I don't think those networks are going to be looking at me if I'm out here stepping into, whatever thing, and nothing against anyone who does it. Like it's fine. Like that's your, cup of tea. Y'all look great. We like seeing y'all on TV sometimes. But for me personally, I just like it's not the demographic that not the kind of attention that I want to attract. And I think I'm just more than my body. Like, like I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Like I have younger siblings. Like I want to, inspire, not be something that like your parents have to like ah hide your eyes, or like, I want my kids to be able to watch what I do one day when I have those kids. Like I want to, be able to share my art and not, feel like it's not, appropriate or something like that. Um, so yeah, yeah.
Right.
So I tell them just, you know, don't do things you're not gonna be proud of.
How many
And
times a
a
week?
little bit of no is
Hmm.
enough.
A
A
little
little
bit of
bit of a
what?
no is enough. If you feel like a no,
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit of no is enough.
So don't
Like if
scream
you
and throw
feel,
things. Is that what you mean?
yeah, no. Yeah, I mean like in a way of like if you feel like this is funny, this helped me leave my ex, but if you feel like you want to leave a little bit, or if you feel like it's a little bit of a no, that is enough for it to be a no.
Mm.
If you're questioning yes, it's a no.
So if it's not a hell
If you're
yes.
unsure, it's a no.
Right.
And that is okay. And I think a lot of the times people get stuck daggling that like in between. Like I can imagine somebody seeing that audition that I just got. They're like, wow, but it's $3,000 and it's only one day of shooting. But I don't really know if I want to like just be filming myself in a bikini. But
Mm.
that little bit of no, that's enough to say no. That's no. Like, so yeah, yeah.
I think those things, if you do enough of those things, you end up chipping away at your soul in a very real way. You kind of
Mhm.
sell yourself up, you know what I mean? Like, oh, if it's just a little bit here, then it gets easier to say, yeah, it's okay. I already did this thing. And then all of a sudden, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you're finding yourself doing a bunch of shit like you really never wanted to do and found yourself in a place you really never wanted to be in. And it can be hard to come back from that. I think it's always possible to do so, but I think that's great advice. Like if it's a little bit of a no, it's a wedge that creates a giant sort of chasm.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a no. It's a no. That's
Uh
like yeah.
you being with Melissa, I would assume that and just from the people that I speak to, you audition a healthy amount a week, right? Like what would you say your average audition is per week? How many auditions are you booking out on an average week?
Oh, I don't wanna say because
Can you
I'm
ballpark?
humble and it's I ballpark on a slow week, I at least get four.
Wow. Okay. And on a heavy week?
On a heavy week, I have I want to say like 3 weeks ago, I probably had 10 auditions.
Right.
And then I guess we'll count. We could say like, well, one movie I auditioned for three roles in that same movie. So I was like, I don't know if we can count that out as one,
Well, I mean,
but it was 10, yeah,
there are
three
three
different roles. Yeah,
separate
yeah, yeah.
things that you had to come up with,
Yeah.
right?
So and then on top of that, well, I also had 10 because I also self-submit on my own. So
Okay.
I had I think I had like 5 or 6 from Melissa, 2 from my own self-submissions, and then the other ones from my commercial imprint by Coastal.
Mm.
So it'll, it'll range. I would say the past couple 2 weeks have been pretty slow, which I've learned to like not complain, especially like when I'm in spaces with like other actors because I feel bad because like I one of my friends pointed this out to me. She's like, Jayani, don't be telling people how much you audition because people are not auditioning that much. And I was like, oh, I don't mean it in that way. We're just having a conversation. And they asked. Um, but like this week I only had 3. Well, no, I declined two. Um, I declined two, and then I have one due, and then I had two commercials. But I didn't do one of my commercial auditions, and I actually need to do a follow-up email because I still get self-conscious. My finger, it was for a lotion brand, and like they needed to see my hands, and I just panicked, and I waited. I just didn't do it. Like I
Mm,
was freaking out. I was like, I did record it, and then like I just couldn't hit send because I'm like there like I it doesn't make sense for me to like be I felt so embarrassed. So, and like I just know that this is not going to be healed up by next week. So it just was kind of like one of those things where it's just like got a little nervous, freaked myself out. But yeah, yeah.
um, for somebody who has sometimes 10 auditions in a week, how do you and you have a full-time job, right? Which you're dealing with people all day, HR position, right? Sometimes things can get heated, things can get worked up, right? So you're dealing with all that residual energy from other human beings. How do you manage to sequence and systematize your auditions so that you get them in, you get them to a high level, and you maintain your professionalism, which is something you spoke about before?
Well, one thing that I've learned over the years is that like work is work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, what is that? One of my instructors used to leave it at the door. It's kind of what I do with my auditions, kind of what I do at work. It's like leave it at the door. Once I close that computer, step away from it, I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that situation, that's kind of like how I manage that. Um, and then uh, I want to say just my time management. Like for example, like if I'm working and then like a co-star audition pops in and I know it's like one or two lines, my biggest model is like don't save, don't save what you can get done in 15 minutes. And like if I'm working and I see a co-star audition pop up and then I have some time, it's kind of like I guess like maybe I'm trained a little bit to like switch off and on and turn on my actor. And
Mm-hmm.
like I have like this really quick script analysis kind of thing that I do. And then I'm able to produce something in like an hour. Um, so like I'll just like pop a meeting on my calendar, get it done, hand in that co-star. That way, I did like a hour or two turnaround and then like I'm not worried about that. And then for my longer tapes, typically what I try to do is like wait till I'm off work. Usually I like to give myself a little buffer because like I'm on the screen a lot. So more so taking a walk. I'll take a walk, take a shower, lay down, close my eyes for a minute, turn the screen down, close my blinds, decompress, and then wake back up after like a little. If you nap for an hour and a half, it wakes up your creative juices for your brain. So give myself like a space, a nap, a rest, whatever it is for that day, and then get to my scripts. And if I really don't have time, I will pop my teleprompter up. If I'm really pinched for time and like I just if my brain is not like focused, the one thing I've learned is don't sacrifice the acting for the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and kind of just present a good tape. If they want to call you back, they call you back. Obviously, there are some roles that are a lot more like serious, and I'm like, I got to be perfect. So, like, I'll spend the extra time that I need on that role. But for the most part, I just try to like, and no day's the same, no week's the same, just kind of like managing it, making sure like I'm in a good mental space, most importantly. Because usually when things aren't getting done, it's because like I'm not in the best like mental space that week, or like I'm just like feeling extra heavy and letting life, beat me up a little bit. So I try to like make sure I'm journaling, make sure I'm eating healthy, make sure I'm taking care of myself, make sure I get outside every day to take a walk. Like those little things like help me stay sharp basically for my acting and my work. And then just learning when to turn off work. And also like I want to book a movie. The minute I book a movie, that job is gone. Quitting with not even a second thought. Like, so I think that like while the job does pay me, I'm grateful for it. I do a really good job at it. I don't get lost in the job. And ooh, as we're on it, gonna go off a little bit. One of the biggest things when it came down to my full-time job and my acting career was I felt like my full-time job and my acting career, they were like worst enemies. It was like, oh, like this stupid job is in the way of my auditions. Like I can't focus because this job, like blah, blah, blah. And then the job was like, well, it has to be practical. I gotta work. I gotta make the money. So acting has to wait. So like they were these forces like against each other.
Mm.
And recently, now this is kind of crazy because I started to book. I've booked a lot this year, which I'm so shocked. I'm still shocked. I've been booking. Things are good. I have a movie premiere. I'm so, so, so shocked of what has happened. But like I sat with myself, sat with a lot of conversations I've had, listened to myself, started doing research, and I'm like, you know what I just realized? My acting career and my full-time job, they're not enemies. They're actually best friends. Because if I didn't have the job, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. I wouldn't be able to feed myself. I wouldn't be able to go to acting class or art class. um, and all of those things from that full-time job, it feeds my acting career. And my acting career allows me the ability to be a little bit freer and stress-free and more creative and alive. So I'm not being drained by the full-time job because I have something else. So I kind of had to realize, like, hey, you guys are best friends. Like, let's work together. So I've developed that mentality and it's gotten a lot easier to manage. It's gotten a lot lighter. Um, I started to do more like, for example, the first thing I do in the morning is something for acting. So like whether that's doing submissions on Actors Access, reading a script, even laying down visualizing best case scenario of like I'll wake up and if I'm super lazy, I'll either like journal about, something about acting my career, or I literally just lay there and visualize what today would be like if I got that phone call of my life. And then I go take a walk, I do whatever, and then I start work. So kind of like finding ways to make these things work together. Um, and yeah, like it's just been coasting through. Some weeks are hard, some are easy. Yeah, some are too slow, and then giving myself grace and then not beating myself up if I don't get something done on either end. Like, yeah.
Fantastic. What's the movie that you're producing about?
So this is a film that like uh, a friend, well, now a friend we spoke about this like years ago. He casted me for the lead role in the film years ago, but like, time, like he's self-funding. He hasn't been able to like, get things done. He's trying to do it all by himself. He's so great. Um, and then I think we filmed like one scene last year and it went really well. And like I remember I had a conversation with him. It's like, hey, like, if you ever need help, just let me know. Like I think I'm pretty knowledgeable at this point about it. I did try to help produce something before, which was really nice. But then life had happened and like I kind of had to step away from it because I had like a couple things happen last year. But then recently, a couple weeks ago, my friend the director, he hits me up and he's like, hey, can can you chat? Like, I think I might finally need some help. I might need you to help like producing and casting or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, like, I know I'm annoying with my schedule, but like, let's set some time at like 6 p.m. on Friday. Like, let's chat. And then we just chatted and he was like, I'd love for you to help. And I'm like, I would love to help. I love the film. And the film's about like an aspiring actor, and then her friends are also aspiring to do things with their lives. And one of the friends has this crazy idea to like was to try to rob a guy by like acting as like they were trying to like act like they were like prostitutes or something, and they were really going to take steal the guy's money and steal like his watch and like all this stuff. And basically the guy basically one of the friends accidentally kills the guy. And yeah, it's a really good it's a really good feature. Like it's really good. I really love the project. It's a lot different from the work that like I've been in so far, which I'm excited to like step into that like to that like kind of like different character. But ultimately, like the she's very much like me, which is kind of like funny. I used to wonder, I'm like, why does he have to, like, I used to be on the phone with the director, like, he'd be asking me questions about myself, and I'm like, but he kind of like wrote me into the character, which is like really nice. So like when I read it, I'm like, oh, like I empathize with her so much. And I really love her. So yeah, it just feels really, good to be stepping into it, something different. Um, and I'm excited about it. And, like it's gonna be my first time kind of producing. I'll be casting for it soon. So details to come. Um, Before I share more details, like obviously I probably have to talk to him because it's his film. I'm just helping. But yeah, like I'm happy that like I'm gonna be attaching myself to this project. And not just in the actor way. I really do think eventually. Oh, Anthony Avison actually told me one day, he was like, have you ever thought about directing? Like, you might be a great director, which is something that I was thinking about too. It's like, I think one day eventually, like, I want to try to direct something. But when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm an actor. But I realized, like, I'm so much more than just an actor. Um, and I just want to step into, like, I love it full all the way through. So I want to learn about all parts of it. And I think like this will be a great opportunity for me to do that. And I'm really uh passionate about it. I mean, I think we're sitting here on this call, so obviously we're passionate, but like it feels really good to be like stepping into like a producer kind of like seat. Um and I'm glad that I don't have to direct myself. So that's good that he's still going to be directing me. So I love being directed. So yeah.
Jayani Jalese, this was fantastic. You're a light, and I appreciate all the gems you dropped for us today.
Oh, I'm just being me. Uh,
Awesome. I'm gonna share your information and stuff, all your socials and stuff in the description. Anybody wants to check her out. Yeah. So thank you. So thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.